on this Wednesday night. I think we have a theme here because on Monday we had McHenry and Morocco, and then we had a fourth guest with an M on the last name. We're going to continue that tonight.
All right, let's do it.
Ready to do it? All right, let's bring in our fourth chair tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to Like It or Not, TV host and pop culture expert, Jawn Murray. Come on out, Jawn. And first of all, I want you guys, as Jawn makes the walk over, I want you to focus on the shoes because once again,
we got another theme going on here.
It isn't. Look at those are impressive, Jawn.
We like them. We like them. How are you?
Welcome.
Hi. Good to see you.
Like
Reaching across.
The principal colors. The principal colors.
That's right. So we got Murray, Morocco, McHenry. How you doing?
I'm great. Can I tell you something about the song that came out while I was walking out?
Yeah.
It's Sunshine by Coco, the lead singer of SWV. It was May of 1999. I was an intern at WPGC here in D.C. And she's the first celebrity I ever met. We became friends, and she's my best friend to this very day.
All right.
Yeah. I inadvertently kind of told my age there, but I was an 18-year-old intern, was excited to meet.
I remember SWV well, but by the way, you got to behold the gavel at any point during the show. When I pound the gavel, I run the show here, just so you know.
So you're getting your Judge Judy on.
I am getting my Judge
Jim.
Judge Jim, that's right, coming this fall to Fox. All right, let's fire it up. Here we go tonight. The nation's top health official saying the prescription drug TV ads will soon reveal prices. The Trump administration finalizing regulations requiring drug companies to disclose list prices of medications costing more than $35 a month supply. In response, the companies say that including prices in their commercials could unintentionally harm patients and deter them from getting the drugs. But it's all about getting the prices out there. So revealing prices, Jawn, like it or not.
Listen, I like this. First of all, if you ever wanted to drive my mother crazy, lock her in a room and put pharmaceutical ads on repeat. She detests them with everything.
Who likes them?
Nobody likes them. But after they, you watch the commercials, they give all the side effects. This pain pill may cause you to have back hair, irritable bowel syndrome. Your eyes will turn red. You'll walk backwards for the rest of your life. But now they have to tell you for $250, you can't even afford the pill unless you're like Mark Zuckerberg or somebody. So I love this. Give us all the information.
Yeah, who wants to not know how much you're going to pay for this crap? And listen, obviously there are drugs
crap.
Well, there are drugs that you need, but a lot of people are also very quick to jump on, hey, I want this, let's try it, let's see how this works. We are in this opioid crisis for a reason. Big Pharma brought us here, and if now we got to know that we're going to pay $500 with insurance for that pill, I'm all in.
It needs to be regulated. I'm all for it. You were cracking me up with the side effects because it's so true.
Right.
Especially if you're watching some of the cable news channels like late night.
We see them all.
Irritable bowel syndrome.
A simple pill and it will almost kill you. But take the pill.
But I would, one last thing, I would like to disagree. I might be like some of these elderly people because when I go shopping, I just grab it, put it on the desk. I don't want to know the price till it's already rung up on my credit card a month later.
One of the big complaints against heavily regulating the prescription drug industry, pharmaceuticals, is because sometimes some people believe it deters innovation.
Yeah.
That you won't have the companies really go all in on research and development because there's not a financial incentive. It's a really slippery slope to go down, but I think consumers first. You got to know what you're spending, especially the number of people who pay out of pocket for
it. Makes it competitive. We know that the gas station across the street is $3. Why can't we know that the other one's $6?
That's right. All right.
I'm with you.
All right, let's move on. Let's move over to the Lion's Den right now with a question from someone you may know from Good Day DC, producer Chris. What's going on, Chris?
Hey guys, I know in news we usually deal in facts, but tonight we're going to do the exact opposite. We're talking about gossip because there's a new study out that says when it comes to negative gossip, guys are just as guilty as women. But when it comes to overall gossip, women still take the cake. But that's positive, negative, and neutral. I talk to people. They say it's because women like to share good news too, but I want to know what you think. Everybody talks, like it or not.
Who do you think Chris is kidding with that shirt?
I don't know, but why is he
I'm sorry, we're back.
Yeah.
We're back.
He's giving his
Good morning, people.
All right, so we got men versus women on the couch here. I'm going to start with you two. Do you buy into that whole idea? I'm
going to start with you. Do you buy into that? You're the man on this. They say it's all the negative. I want to give us a little insight here.
It's all the negative. Well, I think people have complaints, and sometimes they will make their voices heard sometimes for better or for worse. But I think that in this world, it's such a small world now, and there's so many ways to communicate. And I
don't understand why the women are always
bless you. Wow.
Why the women are always considered the catty ones. We're the ones that the gossiper.
No,
yes, we talk a lot, and we are gregarious animals. We like to socialize. We like to talk. At the same time, I've heard a lot of men out there talking a lot of smack. So,
I'll co-sign that and concede. If you spend any time in a barbershop, in a locker room, on a golf course,
case in point,
men gossip just as much as women.
Yes.
I go to dinner with a group of male musicians, you'll find out everything going on in the industry. I think the approach is different. Like, women are like, ooh, girl, let me tell you, did you hear? And guys are like, Well, did you hear Jim's secretary is doing overtime? It's just about...
More importantly, I have a secretary now? That's news. You know.
I mean, I love it because, yes, having worked in locker rooms, covering only sports for 10 years, they talk.
Yeah.
You hear a lot of conversations, and I always just wanted to get in, do the reporting, and immediately get out. But I think women get more detailed.
Yes.
You know, kind of the nature of the beast, too.
Like guys are like, hey, you go out, yeah. Girls will tell you everything.
All right. It seems like there is a new Madonna story every day. Jen is here to tell us what's going on with Madonna. What's going on, Jen?
Yeah, well, Madonna's back. You know, some people think she never went away, but she's back and she's doing her new tour. So she's doing a lot of interviews, and they finally asked her the big question about Michael Jackson and what she thinks about all the accusations that came out in the documentary. We're going to tell you what she said when we come back. Fox 5, like it or not, we got a lot more coming back. Stay with us.
We'll be kissing anybody that's around us. I just want to have fun tonight.
All right, deep breath, everybody. We're back here on Fox 5's Like It or Not with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, who named their kid after a comic book character. Producer Jen in the control room with more on who would he be the most famous ginger now, or what, aside from the original Archie?
Yeah, maybe we'll see. Well, I mean, we'll wait to see if the baby's, you know, what he's going to look like. But yes, Archie was the name that they came up with today. The palace released today. His name's Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor. That is his name. Harrison literally translates to son of Harry, and Archie was a big surprise to a lot of people. A lot of people were taking bets and all this stuff of what it was going to be. They thought it was going to be something a little bit more like James or Henry or maybe even Spencer, like Harry's mother, Diana Spencer, maybe knows that. But they went with Archie, breaking with royal tradition. Everybody's making these, like, you know, Riverdale, Archie, the comic book comparisons. Archie isn't actually that. Everybody's like, Archie, where did this come from? It's not that crazy of a name. It's actually a really popular British name.
Right.
And at a famous Archie here in the States that people may have heard of, actually Amy Poehler and Will Arnett, their son's name is Archie, and she's talked about him before.
I was thinking Archie Bunker.
Of course, Archie Bunker. He is not going to be a prince. He is 7th in line, so not going to be a prince, I guess, until Prince Charles takes seat. Then he'll be a prince. For now, I guess he's going to be called Master. Master Archie. I don't know. But it's you know, it's a different sort of name here. It comes from Archibald, which means genuine and bold. So just want to know what you guys think of the name.
Genuine and bold describes the show.
Yes.
There we go.
That's called auditioning for the promo. Go ahead.
I mean, I hate to knock on somebody's kid's name. You know, you hear these names like Gwyneth Paltrow naming your kid Apple. People have very unique names for their children. Let them kind of feel the roll into the... I feel like once you know the personality behind a person, then you kind of see the name in a different light than when you just hear the name and it kind of shocks you, especially coming from the royal family. But hey, who am I to...
Listen, I love that Meghan had brought so much culture to that whole wedding. You know, it was the black preacher and the black choir and all that. So I wanted a name kind of like Jerome. You know, I wanted her to debunk all of royal tradition. You know, Jerome the ginger. You know, that would have been great. You know, just give me something more.
I respect it, though. She really is breaking from tradition in every way she can. They didn't take the photo right after the birth.
Right. Yeah.
They did a different kind of birth. They went to their new cottage. Like, everything she's
not in
done.
Like a tight black dress and a corset. Like, she's like, this is how motherhood looks after you just have a baby.
I really like it. I think we're not very interested in royal stuff, but for what it's worth, they're blending American and British culture.
Exactly. All right, Madonna is opening. Speaking of British culture, because isn't Madonna British?
No,
she was for a while.
But you know, Jennifer looks very much like Madonna with that headband on. Very much in like a virgin.
That's right. I'm using it on you, John. Madonna's opening up about Michael Jackson following Leaving Neverland. Fox 5's Like It or Not. We'll be back with what she has to say. All right, welcome back to Fox 5's Like It or Not with the controversial Madonna story of the day. You may remember she was friends with Michael Jackson back in the day. They actually went to the Oscars together back in 1991. She was asked about the allegations against him and that HBO film Leaving Neverland, and Madonna telling British Vogue people were innocent and proven guilty. She said she hasn't seen the film yet, but said, quote, "What's the agenda? What do people want out of this? Are there people asking for money?" I know she's not British, but it's just fun. It's just fun to say that. Are there people asking for money? Is there some kind of extortion thing happening? I would take all of those things into consideration. Madonna talking MJ, Marina, like it or not.
You know, I think she's making a legitimate point here. I'm not like the biggest Madonna fan because sometimes she's super outlandish, but I think she is making the right questions here. Look, He was acquitted of the initial charges. Yes, there's a documentary, but even HBO's kind of backtracked and said, look, there's not a lot of weight in what these people are saying. Should they come out and make those accusations? Absolutely. I think everybody should be able to make accusations, allegations if they believe them. But at the same time, her questions are 100% legitimate. Is there proof? Can we provide anything substantial that will say that this actually took place other than those two accounts?
The whole thing that a lot of people brought up is the fact you clearly at this point do not have him to defend himself against the allegations.
And then there's that.
Which, you look at the evidence in it, it makes you think, but...
Listen, I watched the documentary, and it was compelling television.
Yeah.
But it was a propaganda piece. It was told from one vantage point at the admission of the director. He did that intentionally. There were no checks and balances. There was nobody from the Jackson estate, no Jackson allies, and he's not here to defend himself. And if we're going to exhume all the dead pop and music icons who've either been accused of or actually done bad things in their life and mute all of their music, then we have to do Elvis, Jerry Lee Lewis, Frank Sinatra, James Brown.
We
get rid
Jerry
of
Lee Lewis
half
is still with us right now.
Is he?
He is.
Oh, well, then God bless him. I had no idea.
I think, was there any correlation between them trying to sensationalize a little bit more given how well the R. Kelly documentary did? Do you guys know about that?
It was in the works long before that.
Okay.
And then both of them have tried to sue the Jackson estate. Both of them were trying to look for jobs.
She asked that question,
they're very
too. What do they
questionable
want?
characters.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Tell your story, but if you're going to do a documentary, I think it should be a balance.
Well, and Jesse McCartney, who used to spend a lot of time there, he came out and said, this is baloney.
So did Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, so
a lot of those younger celebrities.
You have to consider that.
All right.
All right, time now to flip the script and ask our friend Jim a little question here. And this is about Billy Bush. You remember him? More than 2 years after losing his Today Show role because of his banter with then Donald Trump, now president, of course, on the now infamous Access Hollywood tape, Billy is now returning to television. Starting in September, he will anchor Warner Brothers Television's Extra Extra, a rebranded version of the long-running show Extra. By the way, if you're wondering what's happening to Extra host Mario Lopez, well, he's reportedly going to Access Hollywood. Billy is back, Jim, like it or not.
We should point out, first of all, you can watch Extra Extra right here on Fox 5. We get that out of the way. So I think people deserve, second chances. And that said, a lot of people were saying what Billy Bush, he was there with then private citizen Trump. And that was back in, 2003, 2004. It was a long time ago. And clearly what was said in that tape, a lot of people see as very unsavory. I know the president had said it was locker room talk at the time. But you put that aside, let the free market decide whether or not they want Billy Bush back. I think that, I thought it was, strange that he had that role on the Today Show. He wasn't on it very long, but he was somebody who established himself in entertainment for a long time. And I think the twist of this, if you want to talk politics, is the fact that he's a descendant of the Bush family. He's a cousin of the Bush family. So, but yeah, let him come back and see, if the public wants him back, great. And if not, go host a game show or something.
Yeah, I think you have to consider, too, that not everybody is right, as we know, working in television, for certain time slots. We saw Megyn Kelly was not great in the morning.
Pretty awful.
Pretty awful, actually, yeah. And so I agree with you, Jim. I always thought he was an odd fit to be on the Today Show.
Right.
I think when it happened, even though he was just laughing, he did need to be removed. It's a predominantly female audience. We do need to consider there's some serious implications to what the president said. I was not a fan of that, even if I may be a Republican. So he took his licks, and now he's getting a second chance.
I think it's simple math. Donald Trump is in the White House. Billy Bush should be able to work as well.
Yeah,
that equates.
But that's one thing a lot of people have said, and that's exactly it.
Yeah, and Billy Bush didn't really say anything per se. He laughed.
He was goading and edging him on, trying to get a soundbite from the top.
Yeah, it's not something to be like, well, hold on a second, he didn't do anything. Yeah. But the one who did the damage was really Trump.
Right.
Welcome back, Billy.
All right. All right, it's time for now. Ugh, what a day. Is that the proper way to say it?
I don't know, but that's a lot of phlegm.
Ugh, yeah, a little guttural. That's probably what Steph Curry's wife Ayesha said after some people came on Twitter and came after her for what she said on Jada Pinkett Smith's show, Red Table Talk. She revealed the attention her husband gets from other women makes her feel insecure, and she hasn't been getting any male attention since they married. Take a listen.
Something that really bothers me and honestly has given me a sense of a little bit of an insecurity is the fact that, there are all these women throwing themselves, but me, the past 10 years, I don't have any of that. I have zero, it sounds weird, but male attention. And so then I begin to internalize it, and I'm like, is something wrong with me?
All right, Curry's comments, Britt, like it or not.
I don't like it because has she gone on Instagram or she is active on Instagram? I've seen the memes like get yourself an Ayesha Curry. I think she has more male attention than she realizes. She's also created, credit to her, an empire catering to women and cooking and the children that they have. So you're going to have a different appeal. And I think even though I would agree with her on the groupies, I don't want them around my man, but I mean he doesn't get them like obviously Steph Curry. It's a little insulting to the women who follow her and maybe really like Steph.
Listen, I agree with you, Brett. Listen, when you, I think she's really elevated the whole idea of a sports wife.
Yeah.
And she's really fashioned herself as this like young black Martha Stewart type. And so people do want an Ayesha Curry type. But what she's saying over at Table Talk is like she's almost soliciting men to slide into her DMs with those exposure photos. And if that makes you feel better about yourself, you don't need to be on Red Table Talk. You need to be on the Yana Fix My Life. That's a self-esteem issue. Yeah.
No, but I think that a woman can elicit attention without saying, I want to be accosted. And I don't think she's saying, I want to be sexually accosted. She
says she wants groupies like her husband.
No. I think what she's trying to say is, look, he gets overwhelming attention. I don't want that, but I've had 0 in 10 years, and I think that's what she's saying foments a little bit of that insecurity. Now, I don't know if she's right or wrong, and I have no dog in this fight, but I hear what she's saying, and I think when women turn a certain age, and it doesn't really happen to men, especially rich men, especially an NBA player, when you turn an age, when you become a mother, then you start not being as desirable, and that is a truth that every woman faces.
Isn't that something, though, when your husband, when you date a basketball player who gets successful, gets in the NBA, you hate to say that that's part of the territory that you kind of know that that's something that's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm not married to a rich NBA player, and I think I can see where she's coming from.
Yeah, I mean, it's like he ended up cheating on her, but like Tiger and Aline, she was beautiful. She is beautiful.
Yes.
But of course, she's overshadowed.
But he's got a whole different issue. I mean,
listen.
But I think the athlete
even Brett just pointed out, men are online saying they want a wife like Ayesha Curry. Like, isn't that every girl who wants to be in a traditional marriage's dream? And this woman is on TV saying, no, I want you to slide in my DMs with your
I don't know if I interpret it like that.
That's celebrity life, man. What can you say?
Yeah.
All right, you may have seen yesterday when I kind of went off about NFL player Le'Veon Bell. We got a response from someone. You're going to find out who it's from when Fox 5's Like It or Not comes right back. Back here at Fox 5's Like It or Not with a case of the CBD grandma. This woman arrested at a Disney World checkpoint when an Orange County deputy found CBD oil in her purse. She then spent 12 hours behind bars before being released on a $2,000 bond. The woman says she uses the oil for arthritis. She had a note from a medical professional in her purse at the time of the arrest, but it didn't matter because you need an actual prescription for at least what she was doing. Now, here's why. CBD oil, still technically illegal in the state of Florida, but the charges against her were eventually dropped. The saddest day at the happiest place on earth. John, like it or not?
Listen, have you been to Walt Disney World in Orlando? That park is enormous. You walk around all day. If you got arthritis like this great-grandma, you're going to need your CBD oil. She should have been on a scooter with her CBD oil and like a drip of just some wine, red wine or something. She needed everything she could to get through that day.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel kind of both ways about this. The law's the law, but at the end of the day, can you give her a little pass? I mean, the woman had no criminal history. She barely had a ticket on her.
When growing up from Florida, the only place my dad wanted to go on field trips was Epcot because they had beer.
Right, exactly.
You know what? Do you, Grandma? Get some CBD oil, relax.
This is one of those hashtag only in Florida stories.
There's a lot of those.
Yeah. Well, and it also speaks to the fact that people need to understand that CBD oil is not marijuana.
Well, hold on a second. They tested it, and there was THC in the oil. So this gets a little bit more.
Let the great-great-grandma get high. Come on. Leave her alone.
They dropped the charges.
All right, last night I gave you my last word about New York Jets running back Le'Veon Bell, who hasn't played a game in the NFL since January of 2018. He decided to set out the Jets' voluntary workout. Fans weren't happy, and it's something familiar to Bell, who sat out the entire 2018 season with my Steelers. Little did I realize we now have a Jets fan in our midst here at Fox 5, or as I called them last night, the dumpster fire of the AFC East. Our colleague Ike Ejiachi wanted to word with me. Ike?
Jim, I don't like it. Let's start off by talking about your team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, who just lost the 2 best offensive talents in the National Football League, one of them coming to my New York Football Jets. Let's talk about how in my division, the so-called dumpster fire of a team is in perfect position to take over the AFC East with the Bills and Dolphins, who we know aren't going to do anything, and those New England Patriots who will start the season with a 42-year-old quarterback. And let's talk about Le'Veon Bell. Let's be honest, veterans don't even practice anyway until they get in the field in the regular season. So if you want to take take some more time and do whatever you're going to do. All I care is about in week 1, you're scoring touchdowns. We'll see who has the better record coming up.
Was somebody giving Ike time cues on that there? He seemed to be
42. It ain't nothing but a number. That's what I have to say.
That's true.
Listen, I interviewed Le'Veon Bell on camera for NFL Network. He is a fun guy. So if he can win, let him do whatever he wants to do. I pay him everything he wants.
Let him score the touchdown first.
$52.5 million and he can't show up for practice? Come on!
Listen, whatever his rhythm is, let him do it. As long as you guys start having a half of a winning season.
Hey, every Jets fan sounds like that, Jim, until game 2. You know, week 2 of the season.
This is our year. This is our year. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Hey, John, real quick, anything you want to plug?
Listen, just follow me on social media. My name is spelled unique, JAWNMURRAY. You can find me everywhere with that.
Thank you, Archie.
Archie.
Or Jerome.
Jerome Ginger.
Hey, you can always tweet us. Use the hashtag Fox5Lions. Send us videos, send us tweets, whatever you want to do. And we'll see you tomorrow here, 7 o'clock.
Bye-bye.